In today's challenging world, it's vital to have energy, enthusiasm, and optimism. Positive thinking will show you how to transform your approach to living so that you can feel good about yourself, create worthwhile relationships, and perform successfully.
Hi, my name's Jim Steele, and part of my job is to travel the world giving speeches. But I also get to listen to a lot of other inspirational speakers and meet a lot of people in all the different audiences, and I get to hear their stories. And the thing which comes up time and time again is this: positive people have the ability to have a positive impact on the world around them. Now, what this isn't is me saying, come on, be positive. That's easy to say and can be very challenging to do, especially when you're not feeling very positive. I mean, do you ever get those days when you think, I've earned this depression and I'm going to have it? So this series of downloadable modules is to help you to learn to explore the power of positive thinking and to help you to get the best out of work and the best out of life. Now, studies have shown that positive thinkers are more likely than negative thinkers to stay healthy into their middle age. They're more likely to have successful careers, and they're half as likely to quit their jobs. But perhaps most important of all, they're 30 times more likely to be happy. And as a result, on average, live 7.5 years longer. So first, we're going to get to grips with some key concepts as we start to teach you how to understand your own personality makeup. And then we're going to show you how to start recognizing your own personal triggers, which can put you on the path to the positive. I hope you enjoy the program, and I'm sure you'll want to look at other modules in the series, which will show you how to apply what you've learned and to start living the life of a positive thinker.
Every individual reacts to and assesses the world around them in 3 different ways: with their thoughts, their emotions, and with their beliefs. Our minds are constantly whirring and processing all the information that reaches our senses. And a lot of our thoughts are immediate responses to these sensory stimuli. But we also respond to the world with our feelings. Events make us happy or sad. We can react angrily, or we can become despondent. And the way we react is often a result of our beliefs. We have deeply held ideas about the world, some of which were planted in our minds long before we were even aware of them. These 3 parts of our personal makeup, our thoughts, our emotions, and our beliefs, can view the world positively or negatively. But negativity has a negative effect on the people around us, whereas thinking positively can have a positive influence. Most events in the world are neutral, and we have little control over them. What we can influence is how we react to those events.
Michael! You're so clumsy!
I'm sorry, it was an accident.
Look what you've done.
I didn't mean it.
You never mean it.
But how could things have turned out differently?
I'm so sorry.
Oh, it was an accident. Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine, but...
Oh, it's nothing important.
A positive reaction can create a very different and less defensive response.
Oh, hi, Eduardo. I was hoping I'd bump into you. Just to let you know, we didn't get the Emirates contract. We lost out to a Dutch firm.
Oh no. Do you think I'd be blamed for it? Are they talking redundancies?
But let's see how Eduardo could have taken the news.
Oh, hi, Eduardo. I was hoping I'd bump into you. Just to let you know, we didn't get the Emirates contract. We lost out to a Dutch firm.
Ah, what a shame. We worked hard on that. Oh well. To be honest, if he'd won it, we'd have been overstretched. At least we can concentrate on the Singapore pitch now, which which is a much better deal for us in the long term.
So, the way you experience something is determined by the way you think about it. You might think of an event in itself as good or bad, but in fact it's our responses to that event that makes it good or bad, pleasurable or painful. It's a little bit like, if ever you've done a parachute jump, or if you're thinking of doing a parachute jump, when you're on the ground checking the parachute, be a pessimist. That's optimum, because the pessimist does what? Checks everything. How often? Many times. Because their desired result, of course, is to survive. Their short-term goal is to get a safe parachute. So being pessimistic and asking lots of questions will be an optimum frame of mind in that situation. But once you get 3,000 feet up in the air, you'd better become an optimist. Because the pessimist is still thinking, what? Will it open? Will the spare one on the front work? Hang on a minute, why is there a spare one on the front? All of their thinking is geared around some horrific outcome, which has one impact on them, and it stops them being able to jump, which was their desired goal that day. So positive thinking means staying sufficiently balanced in your awareness of the problems to stay motivated, able to take action, and feel good about what you're doing. It's all about your inner makeup. It would be like if you went out and bought a new car, I don't know, say a BMW. What would you start seeing everywhere? BMWs. It's as if everyone's gone out and bought a new BMW. Our experience of the world has changed because now we're seeing it through a BMW owner's spectacles, if you like. But if you don't own that make of car, you probably just drive around and not even notice them. How we see the world affects how we are in the world, and how we are in the world also affects how other people treat us. So it's important that we start to monitor ourselves and see if we can accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative, as the song has it.
Your mental approach to life is a combination of your feelings, thoughts, and beliefs. Identifying and distinguishing these three elements is the first crucial step that you must take if you're to shift your outlook from negative to positive.
The other day I was at home cooking supper for the children, and even though I'd told them loads of times, they hadn't laid the table, and I really snapped at them.
Starting with our emotions, we can learn to identify the little telltale signs that crop up as we approach certain situations.
Well, it's stress, isn't it? I have to make these monthly presentations to my boss, and as the day approaches, I get these butterflies in my stomach.
Well, it's different for me. Every time I'm giving a really challenging task, I feel a surge of adrenaline and my pulse quickens.
When events trigger your emotions, there is always an accompanying thought.
I get snappy and irritable when I think I'm not in control.
I know the rush of adrenaline tells me that I get excited and energized when I'm giving a challenge.
I get butterflies in my stomach because I worry what my boss will think of me.
The core strategy of positive thinking is to adapt these thoughts, emphasizing the positive and diffusing the negative. If the thought occurs often, it may reveal a deep-rooted belief.
If I'm not in control of the situation, I worry that something's going to go wrong and I'm going to get the blame. It's because I'm not very confident.
I like new challenges because deep down I'm sure I can beat them. I always do.
My boss reminds me of a teacher I had at school who gave me a hard time.
So positive beliefs have positive outcomes. Time and time again as I travel, I've come across people who have told me about how they've achieved a great outcome because they've refused to take a difficult situation lying down. In other words, they rose to the challenge. They thought about it positively. Let me give you a simple example that I'm sure you can relate to, and it's a little bit closer to home. If I go out on a very sunny, warm day with my kids, at about midday, they'll probably say, Dad, can I have an ice cream? And I'll go, no, you can't. You can have one after lunch. So what do children do? Well, they tend not to go, just thought we'd ask. It doesn't make sense, it'll spoil the appetite. No, kids tend to step into what we might call whiny ask mode. Right? And they'll step in and go, but we want an ice cream now. And I'll say, no, you can wait till after lunch. And they go, we want one now. I go, no, you can wait till after lunch. Now, they look like they're being very negative. Oh no, that's optimum. Because they have a positive belief system that says it takes 7 whiny asks to get an ice cream. It always has. It always will. So after 5 quite heavy rejections, outwardly they're going, please, we want an ice cream. But inside they're saying, 5 down, 2 to go. In other words, they keep framing the situation in such a way that they're able to keep asking until when? Until they get the ice cream. How often they get the ice cream? They get enough ice cream. Now the other thing is, when they get the 7 whiny asks, if still no ice cream, they then get creative because they don't lose sight of the belief. In fact, it gets to the stage where they don't just want an ice cream, they need an ice cream. Right? And inside their mind, they start thinking, what else can we try? It's because they hold on to the positive belief that they will get the ice cream. So what do they try? They might try, having a screaming fit. They might try dropping back 50 meters and walking slowly. Right? They might try, dead weight on the floor in the shop. They'll keep changing their approach until when? Until they get the ice cream. What's causing the behavior is the positive belief that ultimately they're going to find a way.
There are some practical steps that can be taken to help you pinpoint patterns of thought and recurring feelings. If you find yourself having negative thoughts, take a moment to try and capture it. Take mental snapshots of what you're thinking. What images are you visualizing? What sounds or smells might have triggered the thought or feeling? What memories might have been triggered? There are other exercises you can do to track down the root causes of our beliefs. Find old photographs to help you remember your childhood. Listen to an old favourite music track to relive an earlier time in your life. Think about the important people in your life and ask yourself what beliefs they might have instilled in you. To understand how your thoughts affect your moods, create a thought diary. What was the situation? And what thought popped into your mind? Did it come with an emotion? And how intensely did you experience the emotion? And did you notice that you had an after effect, a later reaction? Try and summarize it all in a final column.
My boss criticized my report. I will never satisfy him. It makes me angry. Very angry. I shouted at my colleague. A bad day.
Over time, the diary will build up an accurate picture of your moods and reveal the negative areas of your life, both at home and at work.
Right, so that's what we're looking at achieving over the next few months. I have my ideas about how we're going to achieve it, but I'll throw it open. Any thoughts?
Well, I have a couple of suggestions.
Yes, Jane?
Well, we've been working on a new design for the company, and according to...
Oh dear. I swear I'm getting sweaty under the arms. I always do when I hold these team briefings. I get so nervous. I hope they haven't noticed.
Anyway, what do you think?
Well, my first thought is it's ridiculous. Yeah. Why would our most important, demanding customer want to buy something that is so clearly designed for someone else? Now, Jane,
I don't know why I bother. Barry always does that. He did exactly the same thing at the last meeting. He doesn't listen properly and then just dismisses my ideas. Perhaps it's the way I pitch them. Why does he feel the need to make me feel completely humiliated?
good enough for this job.
Okay, well, if that's what you think. But I've got another suggestion. If we use the whole scheme...
Oh, I've done it again. Why couldn't I keep my cool? I feel sick in my stomach, I get all flustered, I go completely over the top. Damn.
Why haven't I said anything? I could have chipped in. I've got loads of ideas. But whenever Barry starts shouting at people in that disparaging voice of his, my mouth goes all dry and I just clam up. Another meeting has gone by, and again I failed to speak up. I think I need to make an entry in my thought diary.
Now, the more we find out about our inner thoughts, our feelings and beliefs, the better able we are to change them, at least change the negative ones. And in order to be able to prove to yourself that things have changed for you, it's worth just checking out, first of all, how positive are you? So I'd like you to hit pause, go and grab a piece of paper and a pencil, because in a moment I'm going to ask you a few questions. Okay, so if you can do that now. Now, extensive research will say that the vast majority of people didn't hit pause and didn't go and get a piece of paper and a pencil. I'm sure that's just the others and not you. So if you're ready. Now, with some things in life, I'm sure you find it easy to be positive, whereas there are other things that are a little more challenging. And of course, these are oftentimes very important. But in general, I'd like you to give some thought to this series of questions. They're multiple choice, and you'll have 4 answers. So just ask yourself whether you agree with the statement always, or frequently, or sometimes, or of course never. Okay, and then I'd like you to write down the appropriate number. Okay, you get 1 for always, 2 for frequently, 3 for sometimes, and 4 for never. Okay, so here's the first one. In general, I find it easy to be positive. Okay, in general, I find it easy to be positive. Now think about that for a second. Would that be I always find it easy to be positive, I frequently find it easy, I sometimes find it easy, or I never find it easy? And just write down the appropriate number for you. Okay, the second one. I feel that life goes the way I want it to go. I feel that life goes the way I want it to go. I always imagine the best. Other people live up to my expectations. When I think of the past, I reflect on happy memories. I believe I'm a good person. I rarely feel angry. I can get what I want in life. I don't get anxious about things. People say I'm optimistic. I'm a confident person. My life has purpose and meaning. I rarely feel unwell. I'm supported by others. My lifestyle is not stressful. I feel that I'm in control of my life. I find my job fulfilling. Okay, so now just add up your score. So we've all done it. We've all been in a situation where we've imagined the worst possible outcome. But I bet we've all been in a situation where we imagined the worst and it didn't even happen that way. So why worry if it hasn't happened? Or as somebody once said, one day you're going to look back and laugh. So why wait?
A score between 16 and 32 means you have extremely high levels of positivity. Build on it, and your life will be even happier and more effective. A score between 33 and 47 reveals that you're generally positive, but there are areas where you could improve your approach to life. A score between 48 and 64 suggests that your positivity levels are worryingly low. Use these learning modules to develop mental strategies to become more positive.
So remember, positive thinking is about more than just what's going on inside our head. It's about our whole attitude to life, to ourselves and to the people around us. The more positive we are, the more energized we are, and the more likely we are to inspire those around us too. It's not saying that challenging things don't happen, but if they do, we can look for some positivity in them. In other words, we can take an every cloud has a silver lining view, make the best of a situation. So keep an eye out with some of those thoughts inside your head, the way you talk to yourself. You do talk to yourself, don't you? Not out loud, but inside your head. You're one or two probably thinking, I don't know, do I talk to myself? I think I do. But notice what you're saying. Do you find yourself saying things like, I can't do this, I always get this wrong, what if I try and I fail? And also watch out for those telltale feelings that come next. The butterflies in the stomach, little flashes of anger, or those moments when you just feel wiped out. Start to notice under what circumstances these things happen. Now, we all have different triggers, but where we're all the same is that we can do something about it. It's not what happens that separates us, it's our response. Now, in the next module, we'll learn some techniques, firstly to challenge our negative thoughts and beliefs, and then to turn those negatives into positives. Of course, there'll be challenges along the way, ups and downs. Life wouldn't be life if there weren't. But the point is, we can look at the problem square on, and we can deal with it. So goodbye for now. I look forward to seeing you again. And if you like what you've seen so far, you're going to love what's in the next chapter.